Hey guys, what's going on? Steven back again, and I'm back with another 40k video from Imperial Iterator. And the topic for today's video is the strongest Primarch-Traitor edition, Warhammer 40k lore. The strongest traitor Primarch. I'd probably say Horus. You know, since he killed Sanguinius, brutally messed up the Emperor. But he did get obliterated. So I don't know if we're just going with living traitor Primarchs. I don't know what the parameters of this are going to be. Are we just throwing all the traitor Primarchs in a ring and last one standing wins? I'd probably say, you know, strongest mentally, Magnus. Strongest strength-wise, Angron. You know, Mortarion would be the strongest tough guy, I guess you could say. So yeah, I don't know how we're you know, going to determine who the strongest traitor Primarch is, but I'm very curious to find out. So yeah, let's get on to the video, find out, and at the end, let me know, do you agree or disagree? Alright, so here we go. I gotta say, it's a really cool picture. Not gonna lie, I think Fulgrim is probably like my favorite traitor Primarch. I don't know, something about a snake dude with 4 arms and wings. I mean, that's just pretty damn cool. Who's your favorite traitor Primarch? Let me know.
Monuments are ashes, legends are just words, but blood is eternal. A healthy competitive spirit has never been destructive or unacceptable. On the contrary, in many teams and organizations it is the basis of existence and a guarantee of normal work. However, if you let the situation go too far, you may not even notice how rivalry develops into outright enmity and hatred. And that can be fatal, especially when you have to fight threats like the Necrons, Orcs, Asuryani and Tyranids.
Okay.
What's a real bloodbath? Something similar happened to the Primarchs, the genetic sons of the Emperor, the legendary warlords of the Great Crusade. Of course, there was nothing surprising in the hatred and contempt for traitors.
Yep.
However,
the
traitors themselves often quarreled among themselves, and determining the strongest of them is not an easy task. Many will immediately think of Angron, sometimes called the Red Angel,
right,
and originally named Angronius of Nuceria, the Lord of the Red Sands, and the demonic Primarch Khorne. Even among the brothers, few could match World Eaters. Only Horus and Sanguinius could claim victory in the duel. With his demonicism, Angron has only become an even crazier and more fierce fighter, whose footsteps shake worlds and herald the apocalypse. His rage, however, is his greatest weakness. Angron was known for his straightforwardness and disregard for even the simplest tactics, and was accustomed to solving all problems with brute force. And after the Ascension, that trait has only gotten worse. Of course, not many people can live long enough to outsmart World Eaters. Various magic techniques simply won't work against him. However, that didn't mean that he couldn't be defeated strategically. Yes, he will bring devastation wherever he sets foot. But
right,
what's
but
the
his
point
only use is
when
just
all the other planets in the system are already under enemy control, with Imperial ships hovering in orbit? After all events involving Angron usually ended in massive destruction, and Primarch was banished back to Warp. But here the World Eater compares favourably to all his brethren, as he returns to the material world much faster than the others.
That's a pretty badass picture too.
Other living traitors include Mortarion and Perturabo. Primarchs of Death Guard and Iron Warriors not only managed to preserve their legions, but also significantly increased their combat potential. Iron Warriors have subjugated horrifying and demonic machinery, and the children of Mortarion literally carry decay. After all, these two legions have battled each other many times, but the most iconic battle was the Battle of Dysactis, where the Primarchs themselves took part. During the fiery field season, a pyroclastic storm occurred on Dysactis. A large Death Guard army was advancing. Amidst the crackling maelstrom, they are met by a huge force of iron warriors, backed by corrupted machine gods from Legio Abhorax. A continent-shattering battle ensues. Hordes of demons are summoned from the netherworld to join the battle. Under the gaze of the Cyclonid statues, Mortarion and Perturabo engage in a thrilling duel that lasts 7 hours. The battle is reminiscent of the incredible conflicts of the heresy of Horus, and Perturabo's sons deal terrible damage to the forces of the Death Guard. However, the longer the battle went on, the more infections and cases of metallic pox appeared in the ranks of the Iron Warriors. Ancient heretics fell ill and dropped dead. The evil war machines rusted, sparked, and finally stopped. The spirits of the machines went mad with disgust and pain, and as the forces of entropy and decay raged to their fullest, the balance of the battle shifted in Mortarion's favour. With Marines shattered and with many of the much-treasured war machines ruined with no chance of repair, even the brutal Perturabo admitted defeat, retreating to the previously prepared defences. He blew up the mined trenches right in the middle of warp and retreated under the cover of chaos. Battered but victorious, Mortarion and his Death Guard captured the Temple of Sinners they had fought so desperately for and got all the secrets that were kept inside. So even though it's not clear which of these two Primarchs is stronger, we can definitely say that the longer the battle lasts, the better the Death Guard's chances of victory.
So it's best to go after the Death Guard quick,
and this is where the doctrine of the Iron Warriors plays against themselves. Fulgrim was once able to boast of a similar achievement when he sent Guilliman into stasis for 10,000 years as a result of a duel. In general, Fulgrim's combat skills even before heresy were not doubted by anyone, even if he was not on par with Sanguinius or Angron, and the apotheosis made Primarchs completely invincible. It is worth remembering his battle with Rogel Dawn, during which Fulgrim mocked the Imperial fists in every possible way, and took the blows without any inconvenience.
Really?
All of Fulgrim's wounds healed as soon as the ball left his demonic flesh. In the end, only Vulcan was able to defeat the Third Legion's Primarch, which is generally unsurprising considering that under the Primarch, Vulcan is literally immortal. As for Magnus the Red, the Primarch of the Thousand Suns has always been more of a sorcerer and scholar than a warrior.
Right.
Of course, like any Primarch, he was more than dangerous in battle, but he could hardly compare to any of his brothers. Even Magnus's ascension to the demonic Primarch had hardly strengthened him. In some ways, he had lost far more than he had gained. In the end, his soul was literally torn apart. And the Primarch of the Thousand Suns is long since not the same being that led the Legion in the Great Crusade.
No, of course not.
After the opening of the Great Rift, his invasion of the Empire was one of the least destructive. Someone might have remembered Konrad Curze as well. After all, his personal combat skills were never questioned by anyone, and Primarch himself and his Legion were a true terror to the galaxy. All of this is indeed true. Among the misses, Konrad Curze has always been considered one of the most skillful warriors. The episode when Primarch of the Night Lords literally saved Lorgar from the wrath of Corvus Corax, forcing Primarch of the Raven Guard to retreat, is telling. However, Night Haunter's vision-induced future madness and his utter indifference to his own fate eventually led to his demise. And to claim the status of the strongest of traitors, one must at least be alive. The same can be said for Horus.
So
of course, no one questioned his leadership while he was alive.
So not
Horus had always stood out from his brothers, earning his father's trust and the title of warrior. However, his fall into the abyss of madness and his service to pernicious forces ruined him both as a warrior and as a Primarch. While he was likely capable of destroying any of his brothers, many of them ended up living to 40 millennium. The same cannot be said about Horus. Lorgar, on the other hand, is a much more interesting subject to discuss. Before his ascension, he was one of the weakest Primarchs, inferior to his brothers in literally everything, both in personal strength and in his understanding of the ideals and goals of the Great Crusade. This eventually ended in the humiliation of the Primarch and the destruction of the monarchy, the city he prided himself on as his best creation. The Emperor severely punished his son for his lack of understanding, forcing Rabuta Guilliman and Ultramarines to become executioners bearing the word. In the end, This was the final cause of Primarch's disillusionment with his father and pushed him to seek a new truth in the service of chaos.
Interesting.
Some might say that Lorgar's ascension to the demonic Primarch made him far stronger and more powerful than any of his brothers. But this is not entirely true.
That would look badass.
Certainly his understanding of the nature of chaos surpasses that of anyone alive today. However, in terms of fighting skills, he was still himself. The new battle with Corax had ended in much the same way as their earlier duel. Only outside intervention prevented Corvus from taking his final revenge on his brother. As for Alfarius Omegon,
a weak fighter.
There are more questions than answers, as is typical of their legion.
Yeah,
obviously, the Primarchs of the Alpha Legion have never been able to match their brothers in terms of personal fighting ability. However, their ingenuity and their chosen tactics of behavior make it impossible to claim anything at all with certainty.
Right.
In the end, even their survival and betrayal are matters of debate. Remember, fear the unknown and let ignorance be your shield.
Oh, okay.
The new battle with Corax had ended in much the same way as their earlier duel. Than answers, as is typical of their legion. Obviously, the Primarchs of the Alpha Legion have never been able to match
Alpha Legion's the strongest
in terms of personal fighting ability.
Is that what I was kind of getting at?
However, their ingenuity and their chosen tactics of behavior make it impossible to claim anything at all with certainty. In the end, even their survival and betrayal are matters of debate. Remember, fear the unknown and let ignorance be your shield.
So that's what it sounded like? Alpha Legion is the strongest? Alfarius? Is that what it's kind of getting at? Because that's what it kind of sounded like. Yeah. I don't know, I'm kind of lost because it, you know, just the way like the video just ended, so I'm assuming Alpha Legion is the strongest then? More questions than answers? I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank on like what to say. But in the end, you know, they all got their own you know, strengths and weaknesses. You know, like I was saying, Angron, you know, the strongest strength-wise, but like in the video said, brute force isn't always, you know, the answer and stuff like that. You know, you can always be outsmarted, outmaneuvered, you know, outdone tactics-wise and stuff like that. So, you know, brute strength, not always the answer. I do want to hear more about this battle here with the Iron Warriors and the Death Guard, because that actually sounded
and cases of metallic pox
really
in the
badass.
ranks of the Iron Warriors. Ancient heretics fell ill.
A 7-hour battle
war machines rusted, sparked, and finally
between
stopped.
Motarian and
The spirits of the
Protorabo.
machines went mad with disgust and
That's
pain.
gotta be.
And as the forces of entropy and decay
That's gotta be
raged to their
insane.
fullest,
You
the
know, a
balance of the
7-hour battle just
shifted
between
in
those two,
Mortarian
fighting it
favor.
out.
With Marines shattered and with
That's
many
just
of the
insane.
much-treasured war
So I do want to
machines
hear more
ruined
about
with no
that.
chance of repair. Even the brutal Perturabo admitted defeat of these two Primarchs. is
Yeah, and then
stronger.
going into
We
Fulgrim
can
and stuff like
definitely say
that.
The longer the battle lasts, the better the death sent Gilliman into stasis for 10,000 years as a result of a duel.
Yeah, so he's the one that put
In
Gilliman
general,
in stasis, which is pretty
Fulgrim's
cool.
combat skills, even before heresy, were not doubted by anyone.
Yeah, so I
even
mean,
if
he was
not
still a
on
good
par with
fighter,
Sanguinius
you
or
know.
Angron.
Not the best, not
And
the
the
worst.
apotheosis made Primarchs completely in
You know,
sorcerer,
Magnus,
scholar, and
obviously,
warrior. Of course,
wisest,
like any Primarch,
smartest,
he was more than dangerous in battle,
knowledgeable,
but he could hardly compare to any
psychic
of his
powers.
brothers. Even Magnus's ascension to the demonic all his
Conrad
personal combat skills
Kurz,
were never
well,
questioned by anyone. and
dead.
Primarch himself and his
So
legion were a true
can't really
target
say
of
too much
the
about him, you know,
All
since
of
he
this
is
indeed true.
since he is dead.
Among the misses, Conrad
But yeah, I
has
didn't know
always
he was
been
actually a
considered one of the
pretty
most
good fighter too.
skillful
I thought he was
warriors.
just more,
The episode when Primarch
you know, just
of the
more
Night
hit and
Lords
run and
literally
stuff like
saved
that.
Lorgar from the rock
Horus pretty
while he was alive.
self-explanatory, even though he
Horus
is
had
dead.
inferior to his brothers in literally everything, both in personal strength
Lorgar,
and in his
don't
understanding of the
really know
ideals
much
and
at all.
goals of the Great Crusade.
Would be interesting
This
to learn
eventually
more
ended
about
in the
him.
humiliation of the Primarch and the destruction of the monarchy, the city he prided himself on as his best creation.
Is there any, like,
The
how much
Emperor
information
severely
is there
punished
about
his
him
son
when he
for his
turned
lack of
traitor and stuff like
understanding,
that?
forcing Rabut
Because he doesn't have a
and
model yet, so we have
Ultramarines
no
to
idea
become
what his
executioners bearing the word.
demonic
In the end,
look
this was the final
is.
cause of Primarch's disillusionment with his father.
But apparently
and
he's still
pushed
not
him to
even a good
seek new
fighter,
truth in the service
which
of
kind of
chaos.
sucks.
Some might say that Lorgar's ascension to the demonic Primarch made him far stronger and more powerful than any of his brothers, but this is not entirely true. Certainly his understanding...
But, yeah, I don't know, just drawing a blank from the video. Yeah, I'm just not really sure, like, what to say and stuff like that. I mean, I guess I can see, you know, Alpha Legion, stuff like that, being the strongest, you know, subterfuge and stuff like that, go into their advantage. Not really much is known about them, so they kind of got that going for them as well. But, yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree, disagree? Who do you think is the strongest living Traitor Primarch? You know, we'll go with that. Let me know who you think is. You know, do you think Angron is, or Motarian, Magnus, Fulgrim, Perturabo? Let me know. And then, of course, let me know who is your favorite Traitor Primarch. Let me know. So, yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. That'd be awesome. Remember, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media. Links in the description box below. And, of course, leave me all your thoughts and comments. And if there is any videos you guys want me to check out, leave a link down below in the comment section, or, you know, let me know the name of the video you guys want me to check out. And, yeah, I'd be happy to do a video on it. So, other than that, yeah, just stick around. More videos are on the way, and I will see you guys next time.